Hello and welcome to first voiceover for this kind episode from my side. Um, so yeah, I will say a lot of I guess, because I because I usually don't overvoice anything. Yeah, we are starting. Well, actually, I wanted to build absolutely anything in this episode. I built a lot before, and I feel guilty to and I've recorded all of that. Oh, it's really annoying. I'm really saying that very often. That is really stupid. So I'm building a cul-de-sac here, or turnaround spot that will be decorated with trees later on, and mainly a parking lot with cobblestone or pavement of different styles, and also very typical German housing. This project is not based on anything really, or has any inspiration from somewhere. It's just that I follow the German guidelines for road decoration, so all the road markings are exactly following the catalog of German road markings, and I've just tried to make a German-looking fictional place. The map is made by me and is on the workshop. It's called Fictional German Ghost, and yeah, I'm just trying to fit a lot of smaller towns into one map, as I was trying to do my first German project, but that is broken as of now. Yeah, I'm not really confident of speaking, so my voice is probably sounding shit. But yeah, so here we are just putting down some older houses that are having more stories, because this is supposed to be pretty close to the city center, and European city centers tend to not have any skyscrapers like a lot of other cities in other countries do. We do have some high rises, but they are mainly offices and not residential places. And before I actually did this, I had some higher buildings, but I demolished them because it was looking really weird. Because you can't see it right now, because I have blocked off the view into all directions, even up into the sky, so I don't get overwhelmed with building. What I did was I used a cube, procedure objects cube, use procedure object to invert the faces, and then I put a picture of Frankfurt am Main on it, and stretched the texture and just darkened it a bit, so I have this visual border that just blocks out the view. Now we are building the public parking space that is also free and has a small toilet. I use the raisable parking spots for the parking, and parking dots, which is a prop because I use a mod that converts the original is also a prop, but the original prop is terrain conforming, and I use a mod that also creates non-terrain conforming props out of the terrain conforming ones, and also disabling parking on the side. Here I used IMT, intersection marking tool, to mark where I could put the parking spots, because I laid down the pavement before I actually put in the parking spots, which was stupid. And here I just lowered okay. So what I do here is I change the angle on the car spots, the invisible parking spaces, actually, so it does not look like they all park in the same direction, and it's not so boring because nobody parks straight in real life. Let's be real here. And it just looks a lot better, especially on bigger parking spaces. And then I thought about covering them up with these overhangs, and there are the parking dot spots. You can see them there, and later on I will just lower the actual parking building, because it's one of the raisable ones, so you can lower them underground or above ground. So the marking is actually gone, so I have the dots and not the the before their markings from the building. And now painting everything white because the random colors look weird. And here I kinda did something wrong. I initially wanted to remove the wrong problem. I was like, why am I trying to remove this, or why I'm trying to lower this? I wanted to lower the building, and now I'm just deleting the IMT marking to just give it a clean look. And now we are gonna put new pavement in, because I didn't really like how wide it all was, and it didn't really make sense. And it's actually concrete. I always wrap pavement because I think just it's paved ground and not concrete ground. That doesn't really make sense to me. But yeah, the buildings, the brushes are named concrete. So then we have this small space there. Actually put a park toilet, a toilet that functions like a park, not that prop, that building. And now it even attracts visitors. Now we're gonna put a fence. First try a prop wall, but then I thought about how long that would take to do with PO, actually surrounding it all, and probably wouldn't be really happy with it. So I used a network terrain wall and just lowered it a bit into the ground. Notice that I had huge issues because Fine Road Tool and Fine Road Anarchy didn't like working on that barrier for some reason. So I was constantly having the issues that there was the snapping and the collision was weird, but I handled it just with dragging out the initial network and then just moving it back with move it. And with Control H you can, that's a shortcut in Move It, where you can just set all selected to a next selection height, so you align the heights. And then I tried to find a public parking and just thought about that prop and found this really nice pole. I have no idea where that's from actually. I was surprised that it was there, but it really fit because it was blue and white, and parking is also blue and white. So yeah, there is that. Yeah, people already parking, walking around really nicely. And yeah, all cars are covered, so you don't. Now we are editing these two buildings, and also finishing this line of buildings. I thought about making a plaza there first, but I wanted backyards there, so I just PO'd some buildings so the cars don't drive all the way up there. They stop at the end where the pavement ends now, and then I just put another filler there and just move it a bit and made a small spot there so people could actually walk there. Same there. And we're going to backyard detailing, which I really love, to be honest. You can do a lot of things with the huge variation of props and trees on the workshop. And here I use move it to scale objects. You do that with the comma and so period and the comma and the dot, the period key on your keyboard after you have selected something. You can also read those shortcuts in the move it settings if you want to check them out. So use this wooden fence, and I noticed that that the fence wasn't on the same height at all in all edges, so I was really disappointed. And then I just aligned the height because it was looking very weird. Then I thought about there was no door to the actual spot, so I added a door. Yeah, now they have a terrace or backyard garden, which is pretty common here. The insides of these yards are usually full of gardens or parking, which is actually later a thing. Put parking on the other side of this one building that is just blocking off these two yards, I guess. Just gonna detail this corner now. Just some bushes and these sheds, very common here as well. Now solar power is a big thing especially also on the old buildings. So they just put these photovoltaic things, what is it called actually? Panels, that was the word. Panels on the roofs to just have sufficient and self-created power, so they are not that reliable on the own network. And I just noticed that is floating in the air. That is embarrassing. That looks shit. That is not good. That is usually not what I do. Okay, and now just some exits to the roof so you can actually maintain them and don't have to I have to climb up the wall. In the bird cage, some people have gardens on top or bird cages, and some playground stuff for the children. Thought about putting an antenna on the roof, but that didn't really look nice. And yeah, I found some deck chairs. Actually was looking for a better one that's on the workshop, but I couldn't find it in game, even though I'm subscribed to it. I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, but then I have this building complex here, the social housing or just flats. Actually don't know what they're 100% called, but these look really nice, and I made these fake terraces with the building that I then peeled and dragged out the grass, and then there's the network fence. Built this before recording, so you won't see this. Yeah, and then just detailed a bit. They're scaling again the props, which is really useful. Thanks to Camille that showed me this finally, because I actually didn't know, which yeah, which would have helped in a lot of situations. Smaller wall to block off these smaller what is it actually called, planters. And yeah, and then some yeah, just trying to figure out what I want to do now, which is sometimes very interesting. Sometimes I spend like 10 minutes searching and find out what I actually want to do. Ah, yes, the doghouse, yeah. Smaller dog. I actually forgot to put down the prop. Dog prop. Wow. There's a trampoline without a net, and what is these called again? Swings? No. Actually don't know. Well, some chairs with these plastic. Wait, some tables with these plastic chairs. That would have been correct. Sorry. And some other attractions for children, because a lot of people live in these homes. As you can see, that bus stop is full. I have to fix that at some point. Make proper connections, proper bus stops. And table tennis is so huge here. Table tennis is really huge here on school yards and everything. We have these concrete table tennis tables almost everywhere, and now some weatherproof seating areas for the people. Yeah. And then I found this bollard and thought about blocking off this bike path so cars couldn't go there, which is also a thing here. We always have these bollards or something. Now we're going to nature detailing, which I struggle a lot with sometimes, and sometimes it's really easy to me. I don't know, sometimes I'm very unsatisfied with stuff that I have done. This part is okay-ish to me, but another part that I did later on, the roadside detailing, I'm not entirely happy with that. Might gonna redo that one, but yeah, here I'm using the prop painter, and I have to say I don't use the mod prop painter from the workshop. I use the included prop painter from Prop Anarchy, and also use Tree Anarchy. And these props are detail grass from that mod that is interfering with a lot of other mods though, but you can still download the props and just color them yourself without that mod. That mod is not needed anymore, so I can still use all these props. And then I also have the other mod that makes them non-terrain conformable, so I can, if I want to PO them. I've done that here actually. I left everything as a normal prop, and then added some trees, some bushes, these weeds just growing through. I hope that is what they name. Yeah, struggling to pick up that one tree, which was pretty stupid for me. Some more. Some bushes, adding some color, trying to paint that. It is sadly not paintable. That is so bright for my game. I have a pretty bright setup, I think. Maybe I should darken it a bit. I'm not entirely sure. My colors and the theme and everything is mixed together with Theme Mixer 2, and the lighting is edited with Relight, and also the Theme Mixer 2 is also able to edit that a bit. And here using some lawn to also fit in this gap. It was looking a bit barren, and some other bushes. Really trying to spruce this area up. This was a thing I really hated after doing it. These lanterns, I think they are called, placing them all on one line and looked really unnatural and weird. So I deleted that later on and I redid that. You will see that in a bit. Some more bushes. These flower packs are just amazing for this stuff because you can just put everything down. And these flower bushes that are so colorful are also so beautiful. And now just placing grass under everything. So I also don't have the gravel edges on the edges, because that is also very uncommon to see the gravel. You always see grass sticking out. Just trying to fill it in everywhere. Very low grass, so you can barely see it actually, but that's what I do. I detail absolutely everything, even though you might not even see it at all. Even in the video or so, I detail everything, which is sometimes taking a lot of time. This recording was only about 2 hours long, and then I actually forgot or had no idea what I want to do. So I just it ends very rapidly in a weird place with unfinished areas, which really bothers me actually. But yeah, I couldn't figure out what I want to do. And here I have this island, which was a pain to detail because I placed these trees and I forgot this. This is a huge tip. If you want to detail, especially green places, don't put the big trees down first. Put the lawn, put the ground covering stuff down, like these smaller bushes, so you don't have these tall tree crowns, I think they're called, in your view all the time, and can't detail the ground because sometimes that's a real pain. Yeah. Oh yeah, here's a roadside detailing. I'm not very proud of that. It's also a reason why I lost a bit of motivation to continue, but that's not the end though. Yeah, and this was a real mistake. I just used propline tool, which is also not the propline tool mod anymore. This tool is also integrated into Prop Anarchy. So if you want to reduce the count of mods, really get Prop Anarchy. So you can, and same with Tree Anarchy, you can also reduce your not prop count, I mean mods count, because it also adds the unlimited trees option into Prop Anarchy. And wait, actually does it? Yeah, I think it does. I'd have to check that now, but God. I'm sorry if that information is wrong. But yeah, using more of these paintable grass spots, which is didn't turn out really nicely because I had bluish green going on with that grass, so I deleted everything again and used something else. But now this bush stuff on the side is really bothering me. The whole thing behind it is okay-ish. It's not perfect. I've done better stuff. Sometimes I'm really lost with what I'm doing, especially with greenery. I have to train and that a lot. And an issue I have is also when I do something, I quickly get unsatisfied with what I'm actually having there right now. Oh yeah, that was a mistake. But when I'm finished, sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah, this looks good. So I have to push myself further than placing one thing and deleting it again because, yeah, this color does not fit, or this prop is not the best, or tree, and wondering what I want to do to actually have a finished product that I can be proud of. So here I again used the lawn. I thought about wealthier people living here, so the entire lawn, the entire yard will be filled with this very manicured service. No, what is this? Maintained, or taken care of lawn, and then this nice fence. These are new on the workshop, I think. No, I'm not gonna say who made them because that probably would lie because I don't remember. Yeah. And then just adding these fences to close off this huge garden that has no other purpose than being huge. And also holding a pergola with, I actually have to check if I put seating under. Oh yeah, here. This was a huge pain in the ass because I undid some replacement that was globally on some trees at some point. So I had trees in this house everywhere and didn't notice that, and it took some time to figure out. This is Bob, by the way. It's called Beautify Our Builds on the workshop. And I used some random packs that I made. First this trash can, and then then I later on completely. No, actually don't know. No, forget what I said. Yeah, and then I'm trying to remove this tree, which was really stupid because it was part of the building. Because I didn't notice that there were multiple trees, and I was only moving all of them at the same time. So I had to go to single selection and Bob in the building, so I could move them single one by one around. And which was a bit tricky because I built this on a bend, and the one building was standing in the angle and the other one wasn't really, so the one was at the higher angle to the road, which was a bit tricky to then change or align. And here I added a lot of other trees because I thought there weren't enough yet in the pack. And I thought this was a bit empty, so I placed a lawnmower, trying to find the lawnmower, which was only named mower. So I added lawn to it and mower. So I have lawn mower with the finite tags and a garden shed because people need equipment to actually take care of the garden. And then place some flowers over these spots where I didn't place grass. And this pergola, yeah, now I use ivy, the ivy prop. It is horizontal actually. It just covered up the roof of that to make it look a lot nicer. Actually don't know why these pergola props don't come with any covering all the time, because the only time I've seen these pergolas or these roofs, they have been covered in ivy or something else and never have been open. I really don't understand the purpose behind them. If someone does, feel free to comment and explain why this is a thing, why these exist the way they are. Yeah, now I'm gonna build a smaller parking lot just for these shops that are in front of there, and try to use this decal, but really mess up the way it's gonna fit, so it did not fit, and scrap that idea and use this ground type pavement instead, and covered the whole area all the way to the backyard, and then just cover that up. I'm not really satisfied with this transition to the road. In the end, it looks nicer than it was there a second ago, but I'm not entirely satisfied with the finished look. And here I use this planter and thought it was nice, and then no way too wide, so I used a curb network pavement. No, it's gravel, I'm sorry, it's not pavement, it's gravel at the parking lot edge, and then just put some regular, I think it was regular trees there, and then some bushes, some shrubbery, some hedges. Yes, some hedges, and then just put them over the pavement, because sometimes it just grows over it, or it just covers it up. It doesn't really grow in it, especially these bushes won't really grow in them. Maybe smaller flowers do, or grass, but the bushes don't, but they grow over the edges of their initial garden bed, so they just cover up some of the area around it, so it never really looks that clean. And then just trying to add some smaller trees and also taller trees, I guess. Yeah, now using PO and a pavement cube. This is actually a prop on the workshop. This one texture. It's not a decal, so you can PO it. It's a cube, and then you can just drag it how you want it. And then I just redid the size there because that was looking better. And trying to fit that was looking pretty weird, so I moved that into the building, which is completely walkable through because I used the same building on both sides of the road. So you can actually have people walk through there. I'm not entirely sure if they do that though. Maybe could add a path there so they would actually do that. Adding more grass there. Removing that later on because it was looking very uneven, very wild. Trying a decal. No, I don't know what I tried there, but yeah, here is a custom PO texture. I use them. Changing the tiling factor does a lot to these textures because it just changes how detailed it is or how much the texture is displayed. So you can have very small stones or you can have bigger stones. Yeah, just making this path with the red brick and aligning the width because there are supposed to be gardens or terraces. Made 2 terraces and one terrace actually has a bit of garden. Just aligning all of it with PO, with the customization tool, which is very useful for the smaller edits. And then I noticed how much higher that is because everything is on a slope here. And I didn't even notice, so I had to after edit everything, which could have been done before, but I didn't see that mistake. And align heights, and then I noticed that I have a slope there as well, so I edited all that also. And then I just have the pavement walk path there. I thought that would be a lot better than having the red brick go all the way. And now the smaller gardens. 2 walking paths towards the brick and 1 windy one with these decals. And now I also use Move It again to downscale these decals so I could make a very detailed floor because these decals are a great job. They do a great job. The creators did a great job on them, I should say it that way. And they have nice textures, but since the decals are supposed to be so large, so they cover up a big area, the detail goes missing. So they look very what is this called? Very bland. No, it's probably not the very low no, low detail. I don't know. They don't look so sharp. That's the thing. And here I wanted something different than just normal gravel, so I used this stone decal and just also shrink that a lot. And I noticed that I can also shrink selections. So I just used that there. That was very useful to just fill the entire area. And then I used a fence or wall that I also PO'd and then made wider so it could fill up the gap. And this is this copy function is done with holding control and then moving the object, and then it just copies that. Yeah, now using weed and lawn and flowers to spruce up this smaller garden area. Yeah, weed, exactly. Some smaller dandelions, finally called Pusteblume in German. Very common here. And some tulips. Some tulpen. Some white tulips. Yeah, they did go through the fence, so I had to fix that. That was really bothering me. And now I tried somehow fitting a tree or some greenery into this very empty terrace with that nice ground, and some other planter and some trash bags because people leave their trash outside here. And some trash containers, which I maybe should have put on the other side of the wall because this angle one is weird. But yeah, that is how I did it. And there people have been very they haven't thought about just putting the trash into a trash can, they just threw it away. That's what I wanted to say. I don't know what I would have used. Some chairs, some tables, to just give the people some sitting area. Here, the very famous plastic stool or chair. Every German garden has this one, or had this one at some point. Here I tried to use this detail grass, but it is so thin that you can't really see it from far away, and so the garden looked empty. I noticed that after doing the second one as well. You can see there how it does not cover the pavement at all, so I used this very nice lawn again to just cover up everything. It looked so much better. Yeah, had some trouble placing that. I should have used the picker thing from Move It. That is so useful. I usually use that a lot. And I thought about just leaving that one like that. Yeah, moving this curb network in because I didn't like the grass edge, but thought about leaving that grass edge there. New BMW released on the workshop a few days ago, so I used that one. PO'd them because I also have a mod that creates props out of all vehicles that I have, so plane props, ship props, truck props, car props. I don't have to subscribe to any of those, and every time I subscribe to a vehicle and there's a prop inside, I just disable that because it creates that extra section and find it. So I also have all vehicles in one tab, which is very useful when you just want to place down a lot of cars. Here's some tent trees that are just cut to the sides so they don't grow into the buildings, and this lovely grass plop, not plop, it's a prop. Just put them in the planters so they also don't look so empty. And then I noticed I left the gap there and I was wondering why. So I tried some other pavement, and then I noticed, oh yeah, I used a decal. I used decals. Forgot about that, and then I just thought about just putting that there. Then I wanted to fill up this backyard, and what I also noticed now, doing this voiceover, I did not replace all these trash cans, these trash containers, these vanilla benches. I really have to get back to that and do that. That is an eyesore for real. I hate most vanilla props and don't use them, so I replace them with Bob, but I guess I forgot these buildings. And here's some trash containers, disposal areas for glass, different types of glass, for color glass, for non-color glass, and a FedEx van, Sprinter. The waste disposal props are from Dutch Cheese, also on the workshop. Friend of mine. Here's some ceiling lights. This is the place where that you can go just through all the way from one side to the other, so the backyard is pretty accessible actually. Yeah, some ceiling lights. I already have to fix out those solar panels or photovoltaic panels. This is really bothering me. And then I wanted to blend that more because that is such a bad edge. I couldn't get right crack correctly. Then I had crack and then I was like, oh, that's a wall decoration. So it was 3D and not ground. Funny enough, it fit. So I wanted to use asphalt. And then I found this asphalt that was just covering up nicely. But because that other one is also decal, does that not work perfectly? So I might change that. But I didn't change it in the video. But yeah, we all know decals and decals on top of each other glitch out because they all are on the same level of height, no matter how much you move them around. Here's some prop vehicles from Californian YouTube and other people. California YouTube is also a friend of mine. Yeah, very European common vehicles here, and I also had to peel all of these because they glow when you use that prop creator mod. The vehicle props glow for some reason in the night. Like a street light. So it's very funny to look at. But yeah, just some very random colors. Some people just want very random colors and it brightens up the, well, not brightens, it makes the area a lot more colorful. Here adding some planters and basically removing the raisable parking lot indication for a parking lot because you just park and then somebody parks right next to you. Nothing is perfect in these areas. You usually don't have that painting there, but the city has to indicate the parking spaces somehow because otherwise people will park everywhere. So I placed parking signs later on down, and these nice concrete benches. I really like these ones. They are from one of the DLCs. From these guys, these are it's like one of some props that are vanilla that I use, and some disabled parking spots because we also need that, very important. And that other prop that indicates you can park there. Yeah, I wanted to place that right in front of the window. I was like, no, that's not a good idea. And that person is parking in a no parking zone. Yeah, illegal parking, that's also a big thing here. No parking on that road also, because that was supposed to be mainly for working. And then we have these parking bollards. They are pretty common at shop parking, so you don't park there overnight and customers come up the next day and be like, oh wait, yeah, cool, no parking spot for me. And I somehow noticed that they are so small. I have them larger in memory, so I just scaled them up with Bob. And then I tried to peel them and noticed they lose their scale. So I scaled them later on with peel. Actually, no, I did not scale them with peel. I just left them like that as a actual prop. And I just placed them under some parking spaces. Use prop painter included from Prop Anarchy to paint them. Then align them a bit because I placed them not very nicely. Yeah. The cars parked with the front to the road, some others, some don't. Here's some billboards, or at least I tried placing a billboard. Thought about that one, maybe it would fit. Yeah, but the actual billboard goes away if I tried to pull it in because I didn't want the pillar to stick out and I didn't want to peel it. So now I have these car ads. Also German ads. no English ads most of the time. Of course, I forgot a sign there that says that you have to drive to the right, not to the left. Yeah, and it's all 30 zone, so 30 kilometers per hour, and the cars that come from the right have the right of way, so you have to stop it if someone is coming from the right, unless they give you the way. And I made it so the cars don't really block each other, and I actually forgot a giveaway sign there and a priority sign. And here are the cinematics. It was very surprisingly. Yeah, I didn't do these with cinematic camera extended, because when I open that, the mod Acme is overwritten, so I cannot zoom in into the ground anymore completely, and yeah, I cannot have that. So I hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.